Hello friends, welcome. Let's just check everything is working. Let's get it plugged in here. Okay. All right, hello friends. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Thank you for joining again this week's live stream. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back on this Sunday afternoon here in Ibiza. Trying out a few different things today. Obviously, it's going to be another music production live stream. All about, well, we'll be using again Ableton Live 12 for today's live stream. Just a quick one before I dive straight in. I did a little bit of a poll reaching out to see what the preference is of you guys and girls. Do you like talking through the video with me explaining what I'm doing, or do you like no talking at all? As I have some ideas about this, but I like to hear from you about your preferences. So for the moment, the results of the poll, the jury's decided it's 50-50. So of course I'm mic'd up and can obviously answer any questions if you put them in the chat as the stream goes. I will do my best to answer them as I go along, but today I will try to talk a little less, maybe more music, less talk. If someone can let me know in the chat that the microphone is working fine, that would be great. Good evening, Xavi Diaz. Thank you very much for letting me, or good afternoon. Thank you for letting me know it sounds good on the microphone. So I think at that point, we can dive straight into the music making and have fun making music. So let's go. One last thing I promised. Just put my mic back on. If you could also let me know, Xavi, if you're still there in the chat, that the DAW volume and the DAW volume is fine. That would be much appreciated. Okay. Nice, thank you very much. Appreciate the feedback. So I've just added a shaker on top of my kick drum here, just for a little bit more presence. And if we take the instrument out, just gives it a nice little bit of character that it didn't have a moment ago. And I thought today I'd just start with some simple drums. So I'm just going to build up a little bit of a groove and a bass line, and then we'll move from there. So we've got our basic kick drum to kick off with. Let's grab ourselves a clap. I actually go to my sample library and find a favorite, I think. And we could also jump straight to a rack. Let's try this one. Try a little bit of the new Humanize over here. Quite nice. Make it even a little bit much shorter on the envelope. Okay. Let's get a basic hi-hat in here as well. Then we can get stuck into the fun stuff, lots of sound design, etc. So what we want again is samples. Might do the same thing actually, might go for a rack that's got my sounds in there. So let's say closed hi-hat samples. Let's do an offbeat hi-hat. Just a little bit of processing on this. reverb. A nice short tight kick here. So we've got our basic drums rolling, that's all we kind of need for now, and then we're going to get stuck into making some other parts. So let's have a wavetable up and let's come up with a bit of a bass line for this track, and we might use straight off the bat and a little tip here that I've sort of noticed working in 12, that the clip envelope on the side here, if you want to go between the different views where it's currently vertical versus horizontal, you always click in there and drag. But if you notice in horizontal, or sorry, in this case horizontal, you get the tabs across the top here, but you don't really get a label about what the MIDI tools kind of do to the MIDI. And what I've noticed is when I actually fold that up into the horizontal mode, what's great is you kind of see at the top the titles of each of these sections, which makes a lot of sense as I figured these kind of things out myself as I went along, that this tab does transformation of the MIDI, this one generates MIDI, this is pitch and time, and this is our usual launch tab. So the first tab there is, the first two tabs have been around for a long time, but now we have these MIDI tools tab at the bottom. But if you fold them up, unfold them and put it in horizontal mode like that, you can actually see what each of these corresponds to, which I think is rather helpful. So I'm going to look in here for generate. Let's open up that one. And what I want is exactly that. I'm going to go for a pattern to start with for my bass line here. And I'm going to have 16th notes, density, pattern and steps we'll figure out in a moment. The rest of it, velocity, might have some ghosty sort of lower notes here, so I'll bring that down a bit. And then we'll hit generate. And we can bring the note down. And by the way, we're in A minor today, so just to let you know what key we're in. Right, and let's just play around now and see what we can come up with. I already kind of like that, that's good enough for me. I'm just going to mute this note where there is a kick drum, and this one as well maybe. Change of plans, we're going to bring one of these back. Okay, let's try that for a moment. Doing some nice detuning a bit apart on the oscillators there. Just having a quick look in the chat here. All sounding good, well balanced. Chavidias, this main reverb, is it a room reverb short? So the reverb that I've applied on the clap track on the A end, I'm just using the default send and return method here in Ableton Live, and on there is just a very standard reverb, the default Ableton Live reverb, and it's fairly short. It's only 2.50 seconds long. So, you know, for the moment, that's just a bit of a, just to add a little bit of vibe, I would probably play around with it and maybe insert a reverb directly onto this clap a little bit later and make it sound exactly like I want. But for the moment, I just wanted to feel it into the space a little bit. So I hope that helps. I mean, I use this often just to get going in the start and have a bit of something to give a feeling of the clap being in a space. But I'm not actually going to play around too much with this reverb. If I want to start shaping the reverb, I'll probably put that directly onto the clap track itself and add it here. And I probably then will use the hybrid reverb like this and insert it here. So maybe I can come back and revisit that in a little bit, but that was just to add a little bit of vibe to the clap track. And I would probably do the same actually with the hi-hats a little bit. Same as we could also use the delay on the hi-hat track just to add a nice bit of shuffle like that if we like. So I tend to, just quickly before I move on, I tend to leave these exactly as they come in a default Ableton Live project, and I just use them to at least get started a bit with any spatialness of a reverb or a delay kind of feel to some of these tracks. And if I wish to fine tune it later or make it something really, really special, I might choose to, you know, start from scratch with the delay and reverb, but this allows me to sort of get some kind of feeling as I go. So I hope that helps. Also, if you're just joining the live stream, if you're new here, a big hello. If you're returning, welcome back. Obviously, if you're enjoying the content in the videos, then please do give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe. It helps a small channel like this grow a lot, and it's very much appreciated. Anyway, back into the music. We've got a little bit, not too far in here yet. We've just got a little bit of basic drums, and we're now starting to get a bass line rolling. So. Alright, a little bit of housekeeping. Get myself a bass. Let's maybe do another clip below and go back and generate a new pattern. Variation now here on the bass we can play around with. I'm going to knock off that note again, overlaps with the kick. Nice. Something else with this, a little bit of movement on it. Busy, I'm going to change that slightly. I'm just going to take this clap out of this rack so I can find it a little bit easier. So we're just going to copy the clap, rid of the rack, paste it in there, and now we can start again with what I was wanting to do here. Shuffle on the clap every now and then. So a quick pause. Today, as I said, I'm just going to be talking a little bit less. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. A little bit of production, music production session in Ableton Live 12. Working on an idea, I guess kind of indie dance is a bit of an influence at the moment. So in A minor, 126 BPM. If you're enjoying the content, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Your help and support is much appreciated. It helps the channel grow a lot. Anyway, diving back into the music, let's crack on here. I'm preferring pattern 2 on the bass. Let's try and move my kick frequency slightly. Maybe a bit of a deeper one like that. Alright, now let's have some fun. Well, I'm having fun already, but let's grab ourselves a granulator. So we want a bit of max for live. We might as well filter it a little bit so we can find it. There we go, Granulator 2. What we're going to do with the granulator, in a couple of previous videos I've been using the simpler and slicing up vocals for really nice little chops and kind of interesting glitchy kind of results. Here I'm going to had a little bit of a search on our good old friends SoundClouds for some free vocals, and there are some on there, and I found one or two that might be fun to play around with, and one of them here sounds like this. I can taste sweet freedom on my lips. Won't you come closer? I need this. I'm waiting your love. So I'm going to drop that, drag and drop it straight into the granulator like so, and I'm going to give the granulator a MIDI note in the middle of the piano and just make it legato for now. So we're not going to have any special kind of rhythm in the sense of the note. It's just going to be, it's interesting, something there. Ah, sorry, I'm in the wrong section. This is the one we want. There we go. Okay. So let's find something cool in granulator. Let's make our grain a bit bigger. I need this. Won't you come close? Won't you come lips? Won't you come close? Won't you my lips? Won't you come my lips? On my lips? Won't you my lips? Won't you lips? Won't you my lips? Won't you come my lips? I'm waiting your love in my lips. On my lips? Won't you lips? Won't you my lips? Won't you lips? On my lips? On my lips? Won't you lips? Won't you on my lips? Won't you lips? Won't you on my lips? Won't you lips? Won't you on my lips? Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Just have a little bit of a clean up here. Get it out the way of the bass line. And then we can play it around. I'm already quite happy with that, but let's see what else we can do here. We can click on this box here that says grain, open up the second panel, and we've got the amp envelope of the granulator, 2 filters, and some FM, which can be interesting over here if we really want to mangle this vocal. So I kind of find the granulator a lot of fun for really coming up with kind of trippy and interesting and kind of mangled vocals. As I said, I do enjoy the simpler with the slice mode, but this is another very cool alternative to that. If you're joining the live stream, feel free to say hello in the chat, and if you've got any questions as we go along, pop them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them as we go along. Chavi Diaz, I hope I did answer your question earlier and that helped you out with what you wanted to know here. So let's add a bit of FM and I can show you how quickly this can get really kind of quite twisted. The more FM, the more noise and kind of character we can add. But even before we do that, maybe we can play around with the pitch as well. Right, let's do housekeeping. We don't need these audios for the moment. So let's maybe try and come up with a melody in a bit of a fun way where we do something with presets. So again, if some of you are sort of starting out with your music production, it's fairly common that you might begin by using a lot of presets before you shape all your own sounds with synthesis. So I'm actually going to show you, let's have a bit of a fun experiment here. We're going to use the drum rack, which is, by the way, a really powerful instrument. I think it has to be one of Ableton's most powerful instruments for the ways, different ways that we can use it. And a lot of people kind of think of it just to put samples here on the pads and, you know, obviously use it for its traditional application of making drums, as it's called the drum rack. But all of these pads can host instruments as well as samples, and things can get pretty fun and pretty wild pretty fast. So I think we'll use a bit of Ableton 12's MIDI tools, and we'll use the drum rack, and let's grab ourselves from the instrument some different presets here. So let's maybe have a look at something like tension. And tension's really good for like a guitar kind of, you know, physical modeling kind of sounds where it sounds pretty much like a real world sound. So we've got all sorts of interesting stuff in here. So let's just grab some of these. What we might even do is filter this a little bit by guitar plucked up here, so I narrow down the search a bit. And now I'm going to drag some of these onto the pads here. Okay, I don't really want anything that's currently sequenced because we're going to have our own sequence in a moment. That's kind of interesting. Could set a bit of a limit here at a moment. Don't need to have all of them. Could be interesting to have in the mix. Also that. Why not? Alright, so there's a few things to start with. As you can see, we can keep on adding some more, but what could be interesting with this is if we now create a clip for this, and we've got all those synth presets on pads and the drum rack, what we can do now is use some of our friendly Ableton 12 tools here, and let's have generate again, but this time we're going to go for shape. And let's have a look at the shape tab here, and maybe we'll choose something like up and down, or actually something like bounce up, or bounce down, or arc down. I think bounce up, and then we're going to click generate, and you'll see that it's populated it like this, and it populated it by the grid size, which is currently 16th note. So we now got this kind of pattern that plays right across all of these different presets. So let's have a listen to what that's come up with. Okay, so maybe we can kind of like wind it down a little bit. So interesting. I'm not quite sold on what's come out of that, but the experiment wasn't a problem as far as the experiment goes. I'm going to actually try it again, but this time I'm going to do it so with another, exactly the same technique, but I'm going to go for Wavetable, So we're going to persist with it, but we're just going to try another option because I wasn't kind of too happy. I mean, the one thing is that when you do it this way with all these presets, the tuning of all those different presets and patches, they may not sound good together, and in that case they were a little bit not working quite as well as I'd hoped. So I'm just going to go to another, try rolling the dice with something else so you can see how this could work. So I'm going to go for Wavetable, and I'm going to choose a lead is what I'm kind of looking for. So let's say Wavetable leads. And we'll do the same thing. I'm going to populate the pads with some of these different lead sounds. And we're just looking for something, as I said, that kind of is interesting, that we can then turn into something rather cool. So bear with me, although it didn't work so well for the tension. Let's hope that we kind of get something interesting this time round. Back up the top just so. I could actually choose here a little bit more filtering, so let's go more filtered, let's say analog. That's it, that narrows it down a lot more. Okay, better I think. Let's can do it with it fast without even listening. Unfortunately you can't shift select and put a whole bunch in. I've tried that before. Unfortunately it doesn't work, so there's a little bit of manual labor here involved in getting all these in. But really at the end of the day it's not that big a deal, and as I said, it's kind of fun doing stuff like this because you know you can come up with something very fresh and surprising that is created in a creative way. Alright, so same thing again, we're going to use our friend over here, the shape. We could use some of the other ones such as seed, but I think shape is also kind of interesting. So we could also do seed, but let's stick with shape because it gives us a nice kind of contour up and down, and let's do arc down. Or sorry, let's do bounce down, generate. Okay. Right, and if we get a pattern that we sort of like this, or that it's working, you can then sort of manually come in here if you like and start, you know, finding which sounds you prefer, right? Already quite enjoying that. Let's see what we've got here. There we go. Copy this down and we'll do another one with the grid a different size. So we've got a bit of an idea rolling here. If you're joining the live stream, do say hello in the chat. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. If you're enjoying the content, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It really helps a small channel like this to grow and get a community together. I hope you're enjoying it and taking something away from it. All right, so let's develop this sequence a little bit. So it says drum rack, but it's not really the drum rack, right? It's the sequence, and it was the clever way or interesting way to kind of come up with something really fresh by adding a bunch of presets to the pads and the drum rack, and then we've sort of used Ableton Live's 12 tool some of the tools to come up with this sequence, but we could also manually, if you're more comfortable with that, open up a new piano roll and literally, you know, start by putting in the notes that you wish to have as a part of your sequence, build up your rhythm, something like this. And we could also use some of the new tools in Live, such as Option E, if we hover over, and we can sort of split notes, which could be interesting here. And you could make a manual kind of pattern. And then we could move some of these notes somewhere else. Right? Something a bit third party here to work, or we could, maybe we'll use something inside of Ableton, so instead of grabbing third party, so we can kind of either gate this sound a bit, or maybe sidechain compress it a little bit just so it pumps a bit more with the groove we have so far. So one of these should probably do the trick. So let's say we sidechain it for the moment to the one, which is the kick drum. Yeah, we better just label that, by the way, just a bit of housekeeping there. Say hello in the chat if you're watching this live stream live. Give us a hello and let us know how you're doing, and if you've got any questions, I am mic'd up today and I can answer them, so feel free to drop us a question and I'll do my best to answer it. All right, so what was I up to there? Side chaining the vocal to the kick drum. Okay. get some more percussion happening. Just going to do again a little bit more housekeeping so I can kind of find my way around the project and I know what's happening. That one is the hi-hat closed, and that is the clap. Help if I spell it right. All right. It's always handy to have some familiar colors that you can kind of refer to when you're working like this, and so that way you don't get lost. I kind of always have colors for certain instruments and sounds that I can kind of find my way around. Alright, let's have a play with a few of Ableton's built-in drum racks and see if we can add sort of another layer of percussion or something interesting like that. So let's maybe have a listen to a few of these drum racks. Come with Ableton. I like the hi-hat that's in that, so we might come to that in a moment. Tempting. Might have that one, see if there's something interesting in there. So let's go into this one, and we might start by again using a generate tool. So let's have rhythm. Let's just switch it off while we have a look at what we're going to get. 16th notes I'm kind of happy with for now. Pattern, steps, density. Let's generate something here. Let's see what the sounds are in here. Kind of interesting. Let's make it a longer clip. Let's get our chance lane open at the bottom down here. Let's randomize the chance lane a little bit. And let's come back to the pattern. Back down to that sound in a moment. try something with this sequence that's a little bit more radical. Let's get some sound design kind of happening here, and I am going to bring in a third-party tool that I haven't used previously. And if I do anything like this where I do work with a third-party plugin or something like that, I'll link it in the description below. I'm sure a lot of you might already know this one. It goes by the name of Pole Stretch. It's probably one of the worst kept secrets in terms of the music production world as far as free plugins goes, and we'll take a bit of a look and see how we can use it. So let's say plugins, we want to filter it by Pole, and there we have Pole Stretch, and we're going to add it behind this sequence here, as I'm still not completely sold on it, so I'm thinking to kind of turn this into something else. So let's see what happens when we give it a little bit of Pole Stretch, or use Pole Stretch to turn it into something else. Movement into this. try capturing this again. I'll just turn this off a little bit. Put the drum rack back in. See what we've got in this other drum rack sound-wise. right, get a bit of a vibe happening, step by step. The housekeeping, tidy everything up a little bit. So that's kind of some more percussion there, a little bit of a tom kind of groove going on. If you're just joining the live stream, or if you're in the live stream, do say hello in the chat. If there's any questions you have as I'm going along here that I can answer, do drop them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. If you're enjoying the content, of course, like, comment and subscribe. It really does help a small channel like this grow a lot, and I appreciate it very much. Anyway, let's crack on here. I've got a few ideas of where this can go. Some sort of chord to go with this track. We're in A minor today. Start with a basic triad. layers here. Try rendering out this, which is what I was thinking in the beginning, to have this chord and resample it. I'll just turn that one off. So what we want to do is route this wavetable into this track and record some of these chords, so we don't need to hear everything else. And we'll just do one chord for now. Should give us a few of those, and we can turn that off, and we can grab another track, and let's drag that straight into there so we get it into a simpler. Okay, just wait for that for a second. Let's normalize these so they come up a little bit. I'll pick one of these. Okay, and then let's just clarify where we are here. So these are resample chord, like so. Let's maybe have a little look at our tools again down here in Ableton Live 12. Let's maybe have a look at seed. Shut off for a second and have a look what we've got here. Let's say one voice for the moment, C3 to C5, that's okay. Note lengths, don't think we need 64ths. Yeah, let's have 8ths to 16ths. Velocity, that's okay. Let's generate that little pattern there. It's going to pop over and look in the chat. Okay, pretty quiet in there. If you've got something you want to ask, feel free to drop it in the chat and say hello. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. It's good to have you here. All right, let's see what's going on over here. sure about that resample chord, which is why I've taken it out. No harm in trying. So we might actually try in this clip instead to try the seed. Set some parameters here. All right. Let's take this stretched ID here and record it out for a bit, because that's still my friend Paul Stretch working over here. And as I said, Paul Stretch I've used today, it is a third party. I will link it in the description below of the video if you wish to go and grab yourself a Paul Stretch. Great plugin, it's ridiculous that it's free. So we can kind of solo this stretched idea here. Let's bring it into this audio track. Track number 9, we want the sequence. Put it to in, record, and get some of this stretched idea going in here. Just got to use this as a background. I'll run it for a little bit. We're kind of maybe missing in this track is a bit of a sequence or an arpeggio or something. We might come to that in a moment. A bit of an idea here or there. All right, that should give us, what have we got here? A lot. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so let's stop that now. I'm going to turn off Paul Stretch, panning in the auto pan, and it's back to a normal track. This is going to be pretty quiet at the moment. We can turn that up and we can loop it up somewhere. realised I popped it on the wrong track. Offbeat type hi-hat. Let's make this one with a bit of noise, I think. All we need for that is a synth, really. Say analog. Shut off the oscillators, just have the noise oscillator. Housekeeping. And as you can kind of see, like working through starting off a music idea from scratch here, not all the ideas always work. Like creative ideas pop in your head, and there's a few things over here to the right that kind of haven't made it into the loop at this point in time, but that's okay. You know, when things pop up in and come to mind, then we try them out and see what kind of happens and whether they vibe with us or not. I think the main thing often when we're doing this is to remember that we should be having fun and being creative and trying to perhaps sometimes do things the same way we always have or traditionally, and other times trying to do things completely different and therefore coming up with a different result, because surprises are quite often the magic, the happy accidents, the things we're looking for, the things we didn't plan, but they sound really amazing and we weren't planning out that outcome. Okay, I need to keep that out. That didn't make the cut. Just put a divider in between the ideas, the crappy ones and the good ones at the moment. I'd quite like to pitch this atmosphere down a little bit. Let's try and see if we can. I was struggling with that a little bit earlier to get it to sound the way I wanted it to get it sounding. Lots of fun ideas in this particular atmosphere track that could be looped up in different sections. So lots of possibilities and variations here. Alright, so let's try and have like a lead sound on it here as a bit of the last kind of thing to come up with, I think, for today's stream. If you're new here, the live stream, hi. If you're coming back or returning to the live stream, welcome back, or welcome back to the channel. If you're enjoying the content, taking something out of this, you know, a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. A small channel like this helps it grow and build a nice community here. Feel free to ask a question in the chat if there's something that you want to know. Drop it in the chat. Okay, so let's have something from a bit of a sequencer type idea for a melody, perhaps. Max for Live sequencer called the ML185. It's based on the Roland 100, I believe. I think you can check it down in the bottom here. Yeah, you can click on the link and it will take you to the original sequencer that it's based upon. But really an interesting sequencer for me, and it's free. Again, I can find a link and drop it in the description for you guys. Let's roll the dice and see what we can. Let's take some of the steps away. Some of the steps out. If you're worried this wasn't in scale, we can get our MIDI effects scale device, pop it after the ML185, put the song key button on here, and now it's staying in A minor. So as you can hear, there's a little bit of a difference, but I actually like it currently like that, as my ear is telling me that it's interesting actually in the current pattern that is, so I'm okay with it being not necessarily forced into the key. mixing. To get things balanced a little bit. little bit of a final mix here, just to get everything kind of balanced level-wise. Right, folks, well, that's where I've got to today. Once again, thank you. Welcome back to the channel if you're returning. Thanks for joining if you're new here. Of course, I hope you take something away from today's video. I hope you learned something, you found something interesting, something insightful. If you enjoyed the video, I'd much appreciate a thumbs up, a like, drop us a comment if there's something you'd like to see in a future video. Less talking, more talking. I ran a poll earlier in the week to kind of feel that out a little bit. This was weekly stream, by the way, number 4. They're going to happen every weekends. So thanks again for watching. It's been a pleasure to be making some music with you on this Sunday here in Ibiza. I wish you a fantastic rest of your weekends, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao.